All right, let's analyze the actual music itself now. So now let's dive into the music side of things. So we start off with the awesome guitar riff that I love so much, which here she looks like she's playing the Lizzie Hale Explorer. Let's see. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, it's Lizzie Hale Explorer, which is, I guess, just for the show of the video, because she's clearly down-tuned, which is why I have the 7-string. And I know she has that Fender baritone, so I imagine that this is on the Fender baritone, but she's playing the Lizzie Hale guitar here, unless they have the Explorer set up in for drop A, but, you know, with the baritone guitar doesn't make sense, so she's probably using this one just because, I mean, if Lizzie Hale gives you a guitar, might as well put it in a video, right? So she starts off with this video, and it looks like she's on the here. Yeah, so that's not right. So that's C sharp. Yeah, so I think that's what she's, well, for the 7-string, that's what she'd be doing, you know, with that C lick there, that C sharp lick. Kind of reminds me of it's a Slipknot song, Before I Forget, is that it? I don't know. That's not how. It's probably a different tuning and everything like that. But it kind of reminds me of that with that. Anyway, moving on. The riff starts by itself. And then everybody comes in. We're doing a nice big build here. Have the drums going to kind of build that intensity. A little bit of a fill there, go back to just the guitar, and it's kind of like pushed to the side, so it's not as in the front, I think. Yeah, so it's just one kind of guitar, and they have a little bit of a feedback on the other side, on the other stereo side. And then right here, the bass isn't playing the riff yet. The bass is just playing kind of like a... Kind of just holding the note open, I think. Yeah, so then that after the build up, it goes back to just the guitar. Everybody comes in together. Then the bass and the drums and everything like that are locked in at more of like a halftime. And the bass is actually doing something kind of like something like that. Oh, and look at that! Paulina does have chains on her drum kit.
What if I'm selfish? Everyone else is. You're not a product.
And obviously they drop the guitars out after that, and the drums kind of go back to a more of a simple beat.
What if I'm selfish? Everyone else is.
So high energy intro, introduce the riff, and they break it down to just the bass, and it's doing something. So it's doing a octave, an octave. Which I'm wondering if that's what she was doing during the intro. Yeah, so the bass is actually going. So that's what the bass is doing during that riff while Danny's playing the... Which is always cool when you have the bass and the guitar kind of doing something different. Let me turn the reverb down on my guitar a little bit. And this just goes to show that you don't have to write super complicated riffs to make them awesome and memorable. Okay? But it is cool that they're stacking these two, and that's why I love these ladies, is they're really good songwriters, and that they're stacking these two things together. So the thing that ties the bass and the guitar together is both starting on that C sharp here. So then going into that first verse, she keeps that main groove that she's playing during the intro going. And then you take out the guitar because you're wanting the music to settle down a little bit and let the vocals kind of come in and shine. Nice little fill there, taking us into the second part of the verse. So now the guitar is coming in doing the same thing. The guitar's kind of coming in, but she's coming in syncopated. So syncopated, if like there's 4 beats in a measure, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ale and Palina are both locked in at 1 and 3, and then Danny's coming in on 2 and 4. So they're kind of doing an answer and response, call and answers, if you will. It's a kind of a blues technique, but also used in music. AC/DC made an entire career off of doing syncopation. So it's just kind of like playing with those things to give a little bit more texture and start creating variation and dynamics in what we're listening to, even though their overall music isn't necessarily changing with the chords that are being played. They're just kind of playing with where they're at. And you'll hear this a lot in what they do with their music. Fill. So I lied, actually. So they aren't doing 100% syncopation here. They both play on the 1, or everybody plays on the 1. But they're adding the little scratchies in there. The harmonics is what that's called, is what you basically just have the guitar wide open with distortion. You can do it with clean too, but you get a little bit cooler effect with this. And you're just laying your hand kind of on the strings and just kind of going. And if you turn the volume knob on your guitar down slightly, you can change how much scratchy is there. But then they are doing a little bit of call and response here, in that the guitar doesn't play on the second beat, even though the bass is. And then they're adding the scratchies in between those notes, so they're on the ands. So 1 and 2 on the ands is where the is kind of coming in at. And then on that third one, it's just the bass. And then on that fourth one, everybody drops out. And then we have like a clock ticking kind of noise there to fill the space. And what that does is that builds a little bit of anticipation, which I love about what they do a lot too, is it builds a little bit of anticipation for what's about to happen, right? So you're building some tension in the music. And they all come back in on that chorus. And it's nice and big, so we're like, Danny's vocals are kind of singular in the first verse. So I think what they're doing here is they're starting on that C sharp, again, where that riff started. So basically that C sharp is our home base for basically the entire song. So the song's in C sharp when tuned to A. And we're just kind of grooving on that thing the whole time and just kind of making variations around that chord, right? So make sure my guitar's in tune, but I think that's what they're doing. Once again, you don't have to write complicated music for it to be good, right? It just has to be well put together. And obviously with their vocals, all the earworms is one of the really big staples of this band. So yeah, I think I'm pretty sure that's kind of what they're doing, and it's kind of a unique thing because it's 4 chords, but the way that they're hitting those 4 chords is a little bit more unique. So it's not just because normally with this kind of stuff you would go. You know, something like that, but they're adding a little bit of extra variation in this all. And then coming out of the chorus. They're kind of using that same kind of riff they've been playing on, right? With those octave chords. So that's also an octave basically is the same note but 8 higher, right? So it's the same exact note, but it's 8 musical steps higher. So that and that are the same note, but you get a different effect by having that high and low together. So that's cool. It's very, argent metal, kind of what was popularized by Mick Gordon with Doom. You get a lot of that kind of stuff in there. If you listen to the Doom soundtrack from 2016, you'll hear a lot of that kind of stuff in there. And what's also cool is usually after the first chorus, many bands would go back to the main riff, so it would actually be the... You know, normally you'd go back to that, but what they're doing is they're choosing to keep it a little bit more metal, which whenever all the little teasers came out, I was really hyped about that. So it's cool to see what they were actually doing there, because I loved that coming out of that chorus there. I think actually that first note in that is just... So coming out of that chorus, they're just like... So that they do have a little bit of variation there too. But now they're all playing it together. They've got both guitars, they got the bass and the drums all locked in kind of at that halftime, bringing us into the second verse. And already, what you want to do in modern songwriting is have something kind of different in the second verse so it doesn't get stale. So already, instead of having no guitars here, they've got the little scratchies on the harmonics kind of coming in on Danny's guitar the second that the verse starts, that verse 2. And it sounds like they're actually 2 notes as well, so they're probably going... But they're more scratchy. You know. And that harmony there, they show Paulina singing it in the video, which she probably will do live, but I don't know if that's Paulina or if that's actually Danny singing in the studio track. I think it's just Danny using more of a falsetto there on the studio track, but whenever they get in that higher register, with them being sisters, they're all going to sound a little bit similar, which is what's great about their harmonies, is they have a lot of similarities there. Paulina just has a little bit of overtones to her voice, which gives her kind of more of a, darker or raspy kind of sound, which I love. But we'll talk about that in a later video, right? So cool fill here, a little bit different from the very first verse with that fill. So here again, a punk rock kind of thing to do would be to... and start kind of just doing palm mutes. Palm mute is basically you're taking the meat of your hand and you're resting it on the strings, and you'll get that deeper sound than if you're just hitting the string open. Hear that difference? A lot of bands would just do a palm mute there, but what they're choosing to do is actually use harmonics, which is again that same kind of sound here, which has to be difficult. I mean, I don't sing a lot and play live, but she's been doing it for a long time, but that'd be difficult to play live, needless to say. And she's kind of going up into her like head voice and upper falsetto even here on this. So she's changing up how she sings the second half of the second verse by kind of using a little bit more falsetto here too, which also adds variation and texture to the music. So not only does the instrumentation have to, kind of change from verse to verse, you can also do things dynamically with vocals too, which helps change it up so you don't get bored of listening to the same thing. Especially when music is a little bit more simplified like this, you have to play with it a lot more to make it interesting versus, doing a lot more, acrobatic kind of, music and stuff like that. And it sounds like they have some effects going along with those scratchy kind of guitars too in the background. So that's obviously more of a producer thing, but one of the cool things about the Warning is that they're super raw, but this album's a little bit more commercial and produced and stuff like that, which nothing against it. It's just you can kind of hear that here. And a cool fill. So there's two different types of fills. There's one that's called the falling rocks, and it's what you're doing is you're basically going from the left side of the kit to the right. You'll kind of go brrrr. What she's doing here, she has more of a pattern in there, so it's kind of like a she's playing different notes on her kit to kind of give it a different texture there. It's more of a jazz fill. And then now we're kind of amping up the speed of the song too. It's still in the same tempo, but we're kind of getting a little bit more groovy, or we're getting less, we're still in the groove, but we're kind of amping it up more by playing a little bit faster on top of the beat. And that run. Which, let's go back to the groove thing really fast, because that's something that's very important and that they do really, really well with having Ale and Pau really locked in together. Is they have a lot of groove, which is what's so awesome about them being able to drop the guitars out and let Danny focus on vocals so much, is they can hold down the fort. That's the rhythm section. It's what their job is to do. So now we're getting a little bit busier on the drums with the bass. What's the bass doing now? Apparently I have lights dying on me now, so this has been taking a minute to do the music and the video. So first one, we're going to have to get it better. Hopefully the rest of the gear is working fine. Let's see here. So yeah, that bass is kind of, now that we're kind of grooving a little bit faster, that bass is kind of hitting more of the... So she's accenting more notes in this second half of the second verse. Oh, where's that sweet fill that Danny does? That little run that she does there. Another way to add dynamics and variation, right? What we got going on? Where's she playing that? The cool thing about music videos too is you can see where they're playing it. You don't have to completely ear it out. I actually think she's on the 4th fret here. Yeah, I think that's what she's doing there. So, which is cool because it's basically using all the notes that we've heard in the song so far. So we've got our C sharp, which is basically home base for the song, and then we have our B, which is in the chorus, which is right here. That's also an octave of this, so that's in the chorus. And then we go down to this E, which is in the main riff. Same note, and then we have our D sharp, which is also in the chorus because we end on that D sharp here. So another way to add dynamics is taking the same notes you've already heard in the song and reconfiguring them. In this case, they do a little guitar run, which is cool. And she has to play that while singing live, so good for her. So now we're getting into the bridge. Okay, now we're really got to speed this up. I've got tons of batteries dying. Luckily, we're to the bridge, and then the rest of the song's pretty much the same, so that's cool. There's actually a lot of notes going on here. All right, I didn't really pay attention to that much when I was just been listening to the song, but that dare 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 dare, that's good. That's good. There's a lot of notes going on here, so I think what they're doing and then open. I got it. Okay, for the sake of this, it's close enough, but... So it's kind of that cool little build up there. So they... And they do another one of those octaves right there whenever she goes, whenever she does the ooh. And they go into that little build up run there. And then right back to the main riff, which is cool because the song's 3/4 over right now, and we haven't heard the main riff since the very beginning. That's, like I said, would have came in probably after the first chorus and a lot of other songwriting, but they went the heavier route. When you're talking on my name. And she's singing the chorus over it. So that's another cool thing about kind of basing the song around one chord, is everything that you come up with inside of that song that features it, you can kind of play around with where it's at structurally with inside the song. So she's singing the first half of the chorus after that bridge, because you kind of build it up right and then you drop it down right before that third chorus to really come back and punch. But instead of just kind of going, you know, with a lot of bands, they might just go like maybe play it like subdued, kind of like, or and then ramp back up to the... What they're doing here is they're actually using that riff very economically to bring it back later in the song. And we haven't heard it yet. It's just Danny solo singing the chorus over this. So what you gonna say when you're talking on my name? 'Cause it's over. 6 feet deep, Bobby. And then instead of playing the end of the riff, they break it right there. They all kind of do a choir chant, which will be epic live when they all just stop and then all three of them sing that part, 6 feet deep, you know, different harmonies. And then it comes back in with the big, you know, epic crescendo chorus. Seeing you on the and then they only play that end chorus, that second time, one time with all the big chords. So that first half of that third chorus. 6 feet deep, and then drums, pa-tap, pa-tap, pa-tap. And then we're only playing that one time, where the other two choruses, we've heard it twice. So another kind of way to use that variation where it's not, playing a ton of times. So realistically, that chorus is only played, 5 times through in the entire song. So 2 times for the first chorus, 2 times for the second chorus, and 1 time for that third chorus. And then, again, they've already used that intro riff again for that after the bridge section, and now they're going back to that more kind of like doomy argent metal sound for the very end of the song, which I love. And that's all she wrote. So yeah, I love this song. Ooh, we didn't comment on that earlier. I didn't see that part. The floor closing up, that's probably entirely CG. It's probably not actually there at all. That's probably an entire CG shot, so try to get me one by me. Of course, I'm sure there's a billion other things I missed in this video, but yeah, those are the main things that stuck out to me. So I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you like this style of reaction or not. Would love to do more of these. Obviously, I can do some more warning songs. I can do other kinds of music. So leave a comment. Tell me if you like this style of breakdowns or if it's too annoying and too in-depth. Hopefully, it gave you some more extra context to what's going on inside the song and the video. If it's the right amount, hopefully you found some value in it, maybe learned something, and maybe you're inspired to pick up a guitar or a camera. I'm gonna have to get some more batteries for my lights, it appears, because I don't know, I've been filming for like an hour and it's it's dead. And if you want to follow my band on our journey, we have a lot of content out there. I'll leave our main channel below. That's not the point of this. Like I said, it's mostly to inspire and educate, and for me to have fun with music and video. So yeah, love to do more live performances, music videos, and song analysis. So yeah, and remember to always rock and roll.